Welcome, everybody. Today is September 19th, 2017, and you are listening to The Lifting. I am Joanna Michaels, and along with my co-host, Christopher Stephen Jacobs, sitting right here next to me, and Katrina Sheff calling from that grand state of Arizona, we are all very grateful that you have decided to join us live or in the future, and we thank you very much for all of your support. As always, I say this every time in the beginning. If you have not visited our website and you are new to this, please go there. You're going to probably be very fascinated with what's there to look at, to listen to, as well as these episodes and blogs. We really highly recommend everyone start back from the very first one in January of 2017 and then read the blogs and watch the corresponding episodes to catch up with everything we've been talking about. We normally build upon all of these conversations. So if you have any questions, then you can send them to us at thelifting2017@gmail.com. We will answer them, and we did not get to all of the questions that literally came into the inbox, so we already have a stat getting ready for our next Q&A, which is going to be Thursday, September 28th. So just keep those questions coming in. And I am pleased to announce that Chris and I will have a couple of speaking engagements at the end of this week. I give also a big shout out to Candy Carroll, who has really worked hard to put these events together for us. One of them is going to be in Joplin, Missouri on Friday night, and one of them will be in Springfield, Missouri this Saturday. On Friday night in Joplin, Missouri at 7 p.m., basically it is going to be at a private residence. So I will not give out that private residence address on the air, but if you would like to attend, you can please call Candy at 417-389-4438. Again, 417-389-4438 if you wish to attend that. And then on Saturday, at 2 p.m., we are going to be at the Panera Bread, and that is on 2535 North Kansas Expressway in Springfield, Missouri. Again, Panera Bread at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There is a charge for that room, but it certainly can be offset from what I understand. So please consider buying a little snack and drink while you are there to offset the charge to the room. And again, just for knowing how many people are going to attend, and we have a large enough space, please send your RSVP to Candy. I've already given the phone number, but you can also email her at key2truth, and that's KEY to truth, TRUTH, key2truth @yahoo.com. And again, Candy has been a longtime friend. Chris and Candy have known each other for many years now. Candy has cut back. She does now just a monthly show on Wednesdays, and so we're going to be also speaking with her on her show next Wednesday night, and that is actually referred to as The Candy Show. And so again, if you wish to listen to that show or would like to see what Candy's up to, please, it's the same kind of deal of what we do here, where it's a free conference call line number, and Candy's number is 712-775-7031, and that access code is 867-922#. And again, that show time is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that makes it 7:30 p.m. Central. So again, Chris will be on that Candy show next week as well. So tonight, let's get on to this show. We want to discuss our understanding of the transition time known as 4D. Besides our understandings, we also wish to share some personal experiences as well. Again, we are just like you, going through this experience. And right now, as we have alluded to in our past shows, it can be challenging and have its ups and downs, all of which is perfectly normal. So just we just hope we can provide as many specifics tonight as possible to give everyone something to ponder as well as suggestions to assist. And so, as always, we want to begin these sessions with an affirmation and blessing. And so, Katrina, if you don't mind, and then Katrina, you have the floor to start this off.
The greatest challenge in life is discovering who you are. The second greatest is being happy with what you find. Good evening, everyone. Transition is tough. Whether you're moving into a new home, a new job, a new relationship, or moving into a new dimension, transition is slow and somewhat difficult. Transition does not happen overnight. It is kind of like climbing a ladder. You step on the first rung, you make sure your footing is stable, and then you move to the next rung. If you do not feel safe and the ladder is shaky, you need to figure out why. Once you have examined why you cannot go forward, you have to correct what is keeping you from climbing higher. You look at it, you correct what is keeping you on the ground, then you either go up another rung or you put the ladder away until the issue is dealt with and you feel safe to move up. When evolving and transitioning into a new energy or a new dimension, we have to take the same steps as we did on the ladder. We have to look at our life and where we are at, feel the energy and the issues that are coming at us, and accept the ones we feel we are at one with, and then examine the ones that we are not. We need to question all issues that are being directed at us and decide if they match our truth or if it is a truth we can actually believe in. We need to look at why some things frighten us, why we feel they may physically hurt us or emotionally disturb us, and then deal with each one and accept them or release them or surrender to them. When transitioning is the time we clean out the things that no longer serve us and make peace with the way things are. Change the things we can and adjust to the things we cannot change. We are guided through our transition by positive things and people, such as our guides, the masters, friends, and partners, and our co-workers. Even our pets play a part in guiding us into the right direction. They all teach us what we need to know and what to act on. Anyone or anything that helps us to evolve and makes us look at our life and where it is going is part of that transition. We are also guided by the negative. These are things that hurt us, make us sad, make us feel unsafe, to be unwell, or to even stagnate. We have to look at everything. Good and bad experiences all make us grow and learn who we really are. Transitioning to a higher energy can be confusing and very scary. It affects everything we are and everything we do. I do know if you are on a path and every possible roadblock is put in your way, you might think about taking a detour. When everything you do and pursue falls into place with very little effort, I feel that is our guides leading us through and up to a path that is smooth sailing. All the things we have to deal with helps us move into new energies in the next dimension. Once we accept our truth, deal with our fears and doubts, accept and surrender to our personal path, we become brave and secure, and we can deal with new issues and adjust to this new energy. Transitioning is like being reborn anew with all the garbage removed. We move out of the struggle in one dimension, and we try to move gracefully into a higher one. This is not an easy step, and we are all dealing with and trying to live in the third dimension while transitioning to the fourth. Even if you do not believe you are in the third and moving into the fourth dimension, you really are. If you are listening to this show, I can almost guarantee that this is happening to you right now. We feel the change in the world because it is all around us and everywhere on this planet. We are somewhat happy with where we are, but on some deep level, we know there is more and better out there. We do not have to die to experience a more peaceful and beautiful existence. We are gradually moving into this new dimension by dipping our toes into the water or the energy of that new dimension. To reach this peace and harmony of the next dimension, we have to clean house, resolve our issues, and only take the positive and the truthful stuff with us. Everyone is working through their own personal growth. Some are in the third dimension and slowly moving up, and some may be testing the energy of the fifth. We are all working on our own timeline, and we will all move forward on our own personal schedule. Wherever each of us is, that is where we should be. The universe will not move us forward until we are ready. They will not take us kicking and screaming. Someone asked me about this transition, and I said, I'm sure it is easier. And they said to me, I'm sure it's easier for you because you know all the answers. That statement is so wrong, because it is no different for a seer than it is for anyone else. Just because we are given some information from the guides, it does not mean we are above you. Everyone that is a seer, medium, psychic, and so on is learning to evolve with the same or similar tests in life as you are. Chris, Joanna, and I are here to guide you with the information that is given to us by the guides. We pass it on to you, but we are still learning about it at the same time. We are here to guide and help you move yourself forward as we are moving ourselves forward. We experience things and hear things so we can help you move through the bad and the good, and then you take what we teach you and you use your own power to move yourself through and up into the new energy. You do this all by yourself. We experience the things you need to hear and guide you through the words of our guides, the masters, and or the galactics, so you can understand what is happening to you. This is so you can work yourself through it and out of it and move into a higher energy. It basically comes down to this. Our guides give us the words. We do the work we need to do to pass on the words. We say and teach these words. You take the words and you do the work. We are all the same no matter where we are on this journey. No one, and I mean no one, is any better than anyone else. No one stands on a pedestal. If anyone claims they are higher and better than anyone else, I would suggest you walk away from their words. If anyone thinks that way, they are self-involved and working through ego. The same person asked why their guides were no longer with them and helping them. Please know that your guides are always with you. They never leave you, ever. Just because you cannot hear or see them, they are always waiting to help you move your life forward. Do not ever doubt this. You are never alone. Just talk, and they listen. So how do you really know if you're transitioning? Actually, we are all transitioning from the moment we are born. In fact, you have been transitioning before this life and since you were the first spark created by Source. We have been climbing ladders through every lifetime and evolving through mistakes and triumphs since the beginning of our existence. How do we transition? Just by living our life, by making mistakes, by living through horrific events, then surviving and growing from them, by being in love and giving birth, being sick and in pain, being happy and sad, living in fear and doubt, by having faith, and by always seeking the truth. By living your life, you know through everything you experience that you can survive and gain knowledge and character. Through it all, you know you are transitioning because you can still love. You can still see the beauty around you, and you are grateful for this. You know that these good and bad times helped you evolve, and you are in total gratitude for the blessings you were given. Then you take a deep breath and you say, I am ready and I'm willing to experience more. Through all you have lived through, you are still eager to take on whatever is needed to become a spiritual being. Transitioning is learning, accepting, knowing, and believing. It is living and then living some more. It is full of more knowledge, more tests, more events, and gaining more energy. Once we move up into the next dimension, what happens then? We just start learning, living, and working towards the next dimension that is waiting for us. Whether it is this dimension or the next, everything is beautiful, and the universe is in perfect working order. Thank you for listening. Joanna?
Yeah, thanks, Katrina. That was wonderful. And I'm just going to kind of build upon what Katrina started. This transition at times is very hard for many, and I know it has been for me. And it really is hard to see all of the different interwoven pieces of misunderstandings that we have made a part of our belief system of what it means to be good and ready even to make this move. Again, we don't believe it's by accident, but you already kind of know my feelings on that. So I want to take a little time to review certain facts And I really mean this as facts. I think one of the challenges here is we are all pushed to now not just hope, but concretely believe as indisputable fact certain premises. These few premises are really the answers to all of our questions, it seems to me at least. So I wish to share them here right now. And this kind of, again, is going over some of the things we've already spoken about. So what are the things that I would consider facts? First off, there is a source. We all come from it and are a part of it. The source loves itself and thus you. That's a fact. Fact number 2, we have all been given free will by the source, and it cannot be taken away. No one can force their will upon another, but trickery has had us give it away in 3D, and we're becoming wise to that now. Number 3, we are energetic beings, radiating energy. We have energy of ourself, which is a limited supply, but have also the source energy all around us in unlimited supply. We are separate but a part of source and can use that energy around us, the source energy. Our energy can be considered a fuel source to others, and so we need to protect it or we will be drained, literally. So you protect your core energy, but use the sources, all around. Number 4, we are in an education plan to evolve and are currently in or going through leaving duality with a graduation at hand. While we are learning and growing, we have access to guides or teachers who are there to assist. There are rules in place to ensure we grow and they do not do needed inner work for us. And they are available 24/7 unless you kind of dismiss them, being knowingly or unknowingly. Number 5, upon entering 5D, we must surrender things that may have only served us in 3D. We shed many of these during the transition through 4D. You have all heard this before, but as I said in the blog, the darkness will stop at nothing to challenge these premises. So you must understand that once you start to believe these premises as fact, what does the darkness have to hold on to? How can they affect you then? A simple example goes like this. A child can argue with another child that 2 + 2 is 5. But once the other child knows for a fact it is 4, well, there is no longer an effect now, is there? No more arguing. It doesn't affect that other child. And that's very simplistic, but that's literally what we're talking about. So here you are. So stop asking yourself, what do you believe? And ask yourself, what do I know? Down to the core of who I am. This is why it is inner work. No one can do this for you. Then you will face all of this differently. For those who really have no idea what they believe, well, maybe they need more time. They have the right to figure that out. And I just kind of leave it at that, because I foundationally believe in free will. No ifs, ands, or buts. Who I am actually trying to reach out to are those who do have core foundational beliefs right now but are a bit stuck. And I only mean a bit stuck. So first, let me answer a few questions that came in. Again, this is from my understanding and I take this perspective I have, which I have shared with you, as fact. So, a question came in and it said, so Chris's guides only want him to help those under 16 and under who don't personally come to him? Does this mean that everyone is not supposed to pray for adults without their permission? My answer was, you can absolutely pray. It is just that one cannot interfere with free will. So if you are praying for them and want something that their free will does not, it will not change their free will, and thus their free will is what is followed. It is hard to believe that some people would want challenging experiences, but the fact is that they do sometimes. Also, it is their free will that will dictate when they will choose to move forward. So we can assist by seeing if they are ready for conversation so they can ponder. We can send them loving source energy their way, not yours. Source has unlimited energies. Remember, yours is limited. You don't want to drain yourself. Since you are a part of source, send the unlimited energy. It's like picking it up from the air around you and sending it there, not the energy you need as a separate being. Sending the source energy their way with the highest good intent. And don't specify what you think their highest good is. Just send them loving source energy with the highest good. They may resonate with that energy and it affects them to move and they start their journey. But mostly, if you work on yourself and raise your frequency, then they feel your energy, and physics dictates that lower energy frequencies naturally want to rise to the higher frequency around them. But it is still free will. They may choose to be around you and rise. They may be around you, not want to rise, feel the energy frequency friction, and want to distance themselves from you. This is just how it is. This is why there is so much emphasis on inner work. Rise your own frequency, then just be around others without trying to fix them. And this is where it gets hard, especially if you think of yourself as a fixer. This is the truth behind the statement that everyone must focus on and fix themselves because of this free will. So the next question that came in was basically that I am not supposed to send my light energy to friends in and out of hospitals and prisons. And again, you can absolutely do that. What is hard is giving up the need to know what is best for someone and just asking for their highest good. Their highest good could mean for them to be there or not. From what we are told, that prayer, highest good energy, is never wasted. Guides can divert it, especially if it is for the highest good. If you put too many restrictions on it, then it may not be used if it is against the other person's free will. So the next question was, we can't ask their souls for permission as I have tried to in the past. Sure you can, but there is no guarantee it will work as it once did. As the energy rises and new information, like what we are giving out right now, each soul has to become more and more responsible to make the decision of if it's ready to move from the learning curriculum of duality into the 5D energies. There is no wrong answer. All souls are honored in what they want. This is why Chris is being more restricted by guides as well as other seers, and he's not alone. What becomes hard is that we all want everyone to move together. Of course, we as loving and caring people want that. And it's a nice wish. But we have to honor each person where they want to be. And this is hard. So once you accept as facts these things that I've spoken about, then you begin to interact in the world differently. So now to the last bit. The one last fear that the darkness can hold you back on, and that is the fear of being alone. This may involve family or friends, or it may involve guides and the source. So let me tell you the fact of all facts, to reiterate again what Katrina said as well. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved. It is so rare to find people who do not have guides. Now, at times you can actually accidentally revoke them and have to say, come back. Or at times they can be lost for just a little bit, and Chris will speak on that here shortly. But you are loved by them and by Source, period. That is a fact. You need to bring it in as a fact. People are beginning to find their heart space and open it and go there. So what do good guides do? They move you further into the frequency. They now stand there and wait for you. So we are in the process of getting there and then sliding down as we hone the skill. So at times, as you learn, it can feel like no one is here. But they are right there, right with you, just waiting. They see you and you are loved, you are loved, you are loved, and you are not alone. This is fact. You must understand it and believe it as fact. Many times your heart space is not blocked or cluttered, but the darkness wants you to think that for sure. This is a fact as well. So understand what they are doing. So if you understand that it is a fact that your guides and the source are there and they love you, then you're going to be home free. But if not, the darkness are going to try and take that doubt and they're going to enhance that thought and make it worse. That's what they do. They'll take an existing thought and make it worse. So this is something we have to learn and master. So if you find yourself there, and especially if you're feeling alone, you must remember that fact and you must stop that thought in your head, because it's probably not you, someone, though, accentuating a normal thought. So this is a fact. You are loved and they are there. So you say to yourself, let me go to them. They are waiting. Then start the mantra. My capacity to love is greater than anyone else's to hate or increase my fear. Just start saying that to yourself. Say it over and over, all the while thinking of something that makes your chest swell with love. Do this and you will lift and you will feel them again, because they never left. They were just patiently waiting. Remember, no one can learn this skill or do this for us. And why do you do it? Because you're trying to move to the frequency that they can't bother you anymore. That's why you're doing it, to gain and master that skill. So now Chris kind of wants to add his understanding on how certain memories add to a sense of feeling of alone and how it has affected many. So Chris?
All right, give me some minutes here. All right. Within my 4D transition experience, I've had many backstage as well as ancient memories come forward. Also, I have come to notice that many, if not all, House M males have had a bit of trying time. During the old temporal wars, a lot of House M giants got left behind as the others took an opportunity to escape the system from the harvesters. Some were left to fend for themselves for a very long time, while others slept. This caused quite a bit of instability within House M. Granted, all of the beings we know, such as Michael and the like, did also have their dark times. This abandonment translates today as several things. Strong warrior tendencies, some quick-to-anger issues. If one cannot see the guide, then not know they are around, remembering on a subconscious level that they were left behind. Many of these lost giants, both incarnated and other, are being located because of the new energy. See, a lot of the different beings were also brought here against their will by the harvesters, had their soul removed, and were forced into the reincarnation cycle. These memories still linger on some level. It seems especially so with the giants of House M, also known as the Talos Society. When they were captured, their people back home could not locate them. Some have sleeper or dreamer bodies back on that world. Some are still sleeping beneath in Agartha like the others, and some still have their souls in their bodies and sleeping beneath the earth. In many encounters that I have had with the latter, most of these giants are quite butthurt and wounded for being left behind. Okay, I'll just read that one again. In many encounters that I've had with the latter, most of these giants are quite butthurt and wounded for being left. With good reason, of course. But with the incarnated ones, this proves to be a major problem with these new 4D energies. As I said, it can cause emotional problems here and must be dealt with like any other bad memory or bias. The same goes for backstage memories. I had both a giant self and my backstage memories causing a roadblock here because they were forming two issues. For one, my resistance fighter backstage self was heavily biased against programmed and religious indoctrinated people. So much so that I could not stand to be around indoctrinated people. Top that with a soul giant self with brother guide abandonment issues from the Temple Wars, and now you have a dynamic duel from hell preventing me from attaining true mastery of my heart space. I first accessed my MyLab SSP memories and found out that while we had been in the Bahamas, we had been taken by the resistance faction and given our memories and statuses back. I was pumped full of muscle building chemicals to get rid of my fat, and was asked to help them out. They had their possession of they had in their possession several old crafts, such as an old World War II battleship and a few aircraft. They currently have a base within the Bermuda Triangle, of which they know how to navigate. This is how they evade the Cabal so well. They wanted me to help them create Shungite camouflage for their crafts. I did so willingly because these people, as far as I could remember, were good old friends and allies. Joanna did not go for any of it and just watched me work with them. While on the cruise, I wondered why we had been under constant gray attacks, as well as wondered why I had felt like a 90-year-old that could barely walk or move. This was all of those bodybuilding chemicals wearing off, as well as the grays prodding us mentally and physically. She and Simeon got us out of there. He proceeded to trap the resistance people on their island base in the Triangle to keep them safe so they did not spark a fully fledged revolution or coup. Upon returning, my core and body were a mess from both the grays and the resistance fighter chemicals. The moral of the story is that this behavior is not going to fly in this new energy, as well as a revolution not working against the Greys and reptiles. Only a heart space-based approach is going to work. If any of you listening have had either ancient memories or MyLab SSP memories coming forward from your transition into 4D, you are not alone in this. Do not be afraid to come forward for fear of either not being believed or for fear of the Cabal or Grey Reptilian reprisal. Not dealing with this head-on will cause a greater imbalance the further through this 4D corridor. I had a dream on 9/17 that was a resistance memory. I and several other soldiers were moving through a set of interconnected building houses and eventually a school. All of this infrastructure was underground. It was as if the ground had swallowed a whole small town and connected them together in one long set of halls and paths. Eventually, we got to a school. It looked as if it was from an earlier time, such as the 70s or 80s. As we approached, we saw a window looking right into a gym. The place was cleaner than one would have thought it would have been from being underground. As we lingered there, an older woman with white hair approached us and told us to leave. We originally had orders to find her and secure a machine that was in her possession. As we told her this, another group in blue jeans and t-shirts barged in. They were armed with strange guns that looked like old Roman artifacts and cross crucifix daggers and swords. They called themselves the Warriors for Jesus and demanded in Jesus Christ's name that she hand over the machine. On the other side, I saw people we knew that we did not get along with here, that would be here on the stage. I bring all of this up for several reasons. For one, we sometimes do not get along with someone, and we do not know why. This, as well as past life memories, can be the cause. Also, the bad guys will try to bring out these memories to put you in a bad place. Then you will be shown another reason to feel this way. I was then shown that everyday people were pulled off the street, well, not pulled, but influenced towards a designated area nearest to their current location. In these designated areas, there were weapons, supplies, etc., as well as instructions on where to go and what to do. Most of this was for the Warriors of Jesus group. You would think the good guys would want you to remember these incidents. But this is not always the case. And my guide Simeon has always reiterated that some things are better left forgotten, meaning you may have been a part of something that you do not want to remember doing or being part of. Remembering could and would inhibit your ability to get into the heart space and traverse unhindered through 4D. And Simeon has reiterated this with me multiple times, that I've asked him to restore some of my memories from back there. And he has said under no certain terms, absolutely not. And he said that it's just better left forgotten, that there's some things you just do not want to know, be it abduction experience, backstage experience, or what have you. So, with that, give me just a second. Sorry, at some point during our stay here, I ended up getting another friggin' cold. So, I normally don't get, so that's why I've been sniffling the whole time. So, I'll see who is actually in the room to speak. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'll see who wants to speak. Who's actually here? I just see movement here. Let's see. Yes, Simeon, I see you. You can go last. No, I'm just kidding. Who are you pointing at? Let's see. Who's that over the door? Let's see here. Yes, I see you, John. Thank you. Let's see. You want to go first, John? Okay. Yeah, he hasn't been on the shows in quite some time. So, we will see what they want to say tonight on this transition into 5D. Okay, John. It has been my experience, dear ones, that in this transition period, one must go through a complete internal metamorphosis, as it were, in order to traverse this corridor you know of as 4D. However, it is not necessarily named as such. This is the number scale in which you all are used to: 3D, 4D, 5D, and so on. The number scale is actually meaningless in the actual true scale, but since everyone wishes things to be put in the layman terms, this is why this scale was originally given to all of you. There is actually much more here at stake than just a number code and just a meaning on a pad or a piece of paper. This is very, very difficult to actually translate into the layman or the linear. This is why we use this number code. Now, what I wish to say is this. This transition in which you find yourself in is not a straight line by any means or any stretch of the imagination. No, it is multiversal, it is omniversal, it is multiple universes, dimensions upon dimensions of timelines that humans know nothing about, except for the humans in those universes, that is. The timelines that are in transition and in constant flux are actually what is affecting you here and now. You would call this the Mandela effect, but it actually goes much deeper and has much more meaning than you think. Yes, did the Cabal cause some of this with their Montauk project and like projects? Yes, they did. But there was a greater war that caused a lot more of this necessity for a timeline reset. In this particular timeline reset, will all of your history go away just because the bad guys do? No, not at all, dear ones, no. In this particular transition, one must retain the lessons learned in order to learn from them. If you forgot those, then this path would be meaningless. You may think that the memories that you obtained while being abducted by these monsters, and also while spending time in the backstage, are prevalent to your lesson learning. This is not necessarily the case. The meanings that you learned back there will be retained on an emotional level, and on a dream-like level. You will learn about yourself there when you do your inner work, and the necessary knowledge that Source wishes to continue with then will be made available to you. The only times where the warlike memories come forward are if bad guys, as you call them, wish to come forward and make their presence known in your life. This is the only time those warlike memories come forward, or if it's something necessary for you to grow from so you do not have to experience it once again here on the stage, as it is so aptly called. This is what I have come to say this evening, everyone. Blessings to all of you. My name is John, and I bid you a good night. All right. Okay, let's see. I know Simeon is here. Yes, Simeon, you're going last. Thank you. All right, let's see. Who else is wanting to talk? Oh, okay. I didn't see you there, Bendigo. Okay. Nah, he's like, ha, 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 ha. Okay, yeah, he's actually been here all day. I was just joking with him. He's been here a lot longer this past week than Simeon for some reason or other. So, we will see what Bendigo wishes to bring through. I haven't actually channeled him this way in quite some time. So, let's see. Hello, everyone. You know me as Bendigo, one of the Council of 17 Elders of the Agartha Network. What I wish to say this evening may shock some of you, but as I have told this one and this other one, some of the knowledge that must be brought through has to be done so ever so gingerly as to not shock and awe people into a backslide, as we would say. In this transition of 4D, as you have come to call it, there is something very different going on here that any of you currently comprehend on a spherical level. You think linearly, this is true, but your current level of comprehension, we are not saying you are dumb by any means or any stretch of the imagination. However, we must also reiterate that there are certain things out of your current perception range. This corridor that you find yourself in that scatters itself across time, space, and multiversally is indeed very impactful at this time. Many that have reached this particular transition point tend to turn back and run back into 3D tendencies, and 3D habits, and 3D mindsets, and in 3D ways of living. This is not something that we look down on, however. This just means that they are not ready for the 5D experience. In that experience, yes, there are pockets of 5D across the surface of your world, just like there are 4 and 3D. In this particular time, when you cross into a 5D pocket, you are more or less getting a sample of what you can live within. This is actually most exciting to us because at no point in history has anybody ever been given a sample such as this. This is something that is very rare indeed, to have a pocket of such high density energy actually floating across the surface of your world, such as an iceberg across an ocean. However, this is not a time to just rejoice or just brood in a corner. No, no, no. This is a time to actually work on your inner heart space and work on your inner feeling, thoughts, and all and the like. In this experience, you will actually be able to summon things that you never thought possible. You will be able to access parts of your mind and heart that you never thought were even there at all. Folks, there is more to life than just the percentages of brain that you are not using. Some more than others, I am sorry to say, but that is not the point currently. There is more to life than just those percentages. You are using far more of that brain and gray matter than you ever thought possible. Even to speak as you do now takes up a lot more space than you ever thought could be possible in your world. I am saying that particular thinking space is not restricted to your brain. Yes, if the brain is damaged, your speaking is limited, yes. But there is such a thing as genetic memory and genetic capability. Every cell remembers every thought that the brain has ever had and every aspiration that the heart space has ever had, every aspiration the soul has ever tried to cry out for. This is the miracle that is your genetic memory. The Anunnaki don't get all of the credit for this one, everyone. No. In this particular instance, it is your own soul that has thought a lot of these instances of, even instances of oppression and unfairness. These were choices on the part of your soul before you came into this experience, even if that soul was ripped from a body and placed in another form. In some cases, this choice was your very own in order to experience this particular transition. We are not saying it is easy by any stretch of the imagination. No. Even ones that were ripped from other places and placed here now are stuck in this particular transition and must learn and rise with everyone else. This was not necessarily always their choice, but I digress. You are in this learning experience together. You may as well get along together and become one with each other in choice, not necessarily being forced into a oneness, as in one voice. You already have one voice. Why would you need to be forced together in one energy and one mind and one heart? No, you are already that. You must come to the realization that you are already that. I am a Bendigo, and I bid you a good night. Thank you. All right. Let's see who else is here. Yes, I know, Sammy. I understand it right there. Yeah, they're all laughing at him at the moment. So I'm just seeing if there's anybody before him. And John made a joke saying, "Oh, it looks like they're saving the worst for last." Okay. Okay. Let's see. Is there anybody else here? Who's here? I don't recognize this person. Who's here? He looks to be an insectoid. Let's see. Are you Bug Nasty by chance? No? Okay, do you wish to talk? No. Oh, you're just here observing. Oh, never mind. You just passed through. I just happened to see you. Okay, there's several nature entities in here. Any of you want to talk? Oh, who are you pointing to? Oh, okay.
Another grandpa?
Yeah, it looks like one of the grandpas wanting to talk. Okay. That's interesting. They have been coming in and out of this house for a couple days now, and they made their presence known to me, acting like that it wasn't their intention, but I know dang well they were intending me to see them. So they can lie about that all they want. So let's see. Okay, this is actually one of them that it was the very first Grimpa I ever met. Actually, correction, he's the second Grimpa I ever met, depending on when I found out who and what he actually was. So I will actually bring him in. His name is actually a very long one, but he abbreviated a little bit. His name is Karnakwayan, and he is actually here to talk tonight. So let's see what he has to say here this evening. Wait a minute. He's coming in really quickly. Good evening, everyone. My name, as this one has said, is Karnakwayan, and I am of a species known to him as the Grimpa species. We are known in history as the Grumpy Elves or the Grumpy Gnomes. Yes, this nickname is well earned, but I will digress at this time. We have lived in the forest, the trees, the mountains, and the fields of your earth for quite some time. We come from a system you know as the dual sun system of Sirius, though that system has a bad reputation, thusly we do call it home. In this instance, I must reiterate, like the others, this is a transition time for you all. You will see, or start to see, beings such as myself roaming your forests and climbing your trees, observing you. Yes, this is something that happens on an hour-to-hour basis, along with other Fey entities and the like. We do watch people, even from trees within your cities. We have been observing you very closely for centuries, and now know that you are going through this time of transition and time of hardship in some areas. Remember, this transition is only as hard as you make it. Yes, this does apply to even instances with the negative entities. Yes, they pound you. Yes, they actually harm you. We understand this. This is a difficult time. They were hard on us too once, and we came through it, and we rose above it. In this instance, we are watching your society grow and prosper, even on a slow level in some areas, and a not so level on others. In this time of transition, my people wish to extend our hand to yours. Yes, your people have warred with us before and called us creepy and the like. This is not something that hurts our feelings any longer, because we have also been coached, as it were, on this particular difficult time. Yes, we are only in the 5D, so we actually do experience the same things that you do. And in many other levels above, it is still a realm of choice and a realm of flesh, unlike other places and other expressions that you may go as an energy being. You can choose to become energy through the molecular cellular solid ability. This is no lie, but it is not a prerequisite for entering a different density. It is a lie when someone says that in 5D you must do this or must do that. That is so far from the truth that it is not even funny. Because I am not energy. I am a physical flesh and blood being. Yes, I am short in stature, and I am one with nature. This does not mean that I am any lesser or higher than yourselves. This does not mean that I am automatically an energy being. It is just that people in 5D have a different perception on how the universe is. This is the only difference from your 3 to 4D existence and mine in 5D. But yes, we still get, as this one says, butthurt from time to time when humans intrude in our territory that were either A, not invited, or B, actually begin to damage our environment. This still does anger us, and the harming of the environment will not stand. But I digress, because I do not wish to add an ill ether to this call this evening. My name is Karnakwayan, and I am what you know as a Grimpa. Thank you. Ooh. Okay. I'm assuming he was the last one before Simeon? Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, now they're all pointing at Simeon, and several of them are laughing. Okay. Let's see. Even John. Okay. Oh, and Michael, you're there too. I didn't see you. Okay. And then Simeon just decided to slam him at that point and said, yeah, nobody does. Okay. Okay. And nobody cares, he says either. So, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what Simeon has to say. Here we go. Let's see. Good evening, everyone. You already know me as Simeon, so introductions at this point are irrelevant. But I will say this. In this corridor you find yourselves in, it is most important to know when to laugh and to raise your energy. Yes, we have said in past that raising your energy is not a prerequisite for hiding yourself from said dark beings. Yes, this is true. And yes, there is a genetic memory component, thusly, that goes along with this, that can be unclogged with, as you would call, dealing with biases and other indoctrinated truths and untruths. This is very true. This is what this one did when he tapped into both the backstage self and his quote-unquote giant self of antiquity. This then realigned his core to where the head space then rained down into the heart space and then rained down into the rest of the genetic memory, making each cell its very own brain and heart space melded into one. This made him virtually unseen by any and all negative entities. This is actually a process that is actually, from our standards, yes, is simple, but from your standards, being in the trenches for as long as humanity has been, may seem like an arduous, impossible task. This is not an arduous, impossible task, everyone. It has been done millions and millions and millions of times over, and will be done millions and millions of times over again by species still in what you call the trenches on many other worlds across creation. Earth will become the planet that shows them the way, but through vibrational differences, not necessarily doing things for them and becoming superheroes for them, as you would say, as humanity views us, the galactic. No, we had to go through this once before, a very long time ago, and we had a teacher species right alongside us, but in the etheric. They made it so that we had to figure things out on our very own. Then they showed up to shake our hands and hug us. This is what we will do in the time when people, at least the majority of the population, has begun to truly awaken. As it stands, that particular number that people covet so dearly is far too low for us to do anything of the sort, except interact on minute levels and occasionally risk showing ourselves to people. However, this does not mean that the bad side actually obeys these rules. No, they show themselves far more than we do. They do not have nearly as far as influence as we do. Remember, even though we appear to not be around, our influence is not necessarily seen, but it is felt. This is what I have come to say, everyone. My name is Simeon, and I bid you good night, as the others have done. Thank you. All right. And, all right, it looks like that's all anybody has to say this evening. Okay, they're all nodding like bobbleheads. And I happen to see that in the Q&A queue, we do have somebody down here. And yes, we have 1 to 2 minutes where I can actually take calls this evening. I know that's a wonderment, but it looks like we're only taking one this evening. So I will answer this call. But no, on the next Q&A show that we do, I know there's been a couple of complaints that we didn't leave enough time for questions at the end. We will make an effort next Q&A show to actually leave 10 or so minutes at the end to actually answer questions, even if we have to say questions, the written questions for the next Q&A. So I will answer this call this evening. Hello, welcome to Lifting.
Well, hi, Chris and Joanna.
Hello, Candy. How are you doing?
Okay. Looking forward to your visit this weekend in Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for setting that up for us, Candy. We appreciate it.
Sure. Well,
Did you have a question this evening?
Do you know which galactics might be speaking at our conference?
No. I tend not to know that. They tend to. There's some that I don't always expect to show up. There could be a ton of them. There could be just a couple of them that want to give messages all day. It's hard to say with some of them. Just like I didn't expect to have a Bendigoth guiding me all week this week, and Simeon was not around too much. It tends to be a surprise sometimes who is going to show up. But I have noticed that certain guides show up that are actually needed for a specific task, and it was a Bendigoth that was needed for some of the questions we had for him. So it could be him that shows up. It could be all of them that show up. It's just unknown until we actually get there.
Well, we are sure looking forward to it and your visit and the guides and everything. And so I know it's the top of the hour, and just to say I'm excited to meet you both real soon in person here.
Yeah, thank you, Candy. We appreciate that. Thank you for coming on and talking about that tonight.
Okay. All righty.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. It looks like we are at the end of the show this evening, and there is I'll read the affirmation and blessing, and then Joanna can read the announcements. Now, I know both of you at this particular moment are probably hanging up, so I will read the affirmation and blessing, and just know that the announcements do change from time to time. It's not just a parroting of the previous week. So, okay, I will read this one. This is from a Bendigoth. May all find wisdom in knowing that the key to life is gaining a better understanding to the bridge to the heart space, and that is a Bendigoth. So, Joanna?
I can't believe everyone doesn't want to hear my voice at the end, but oh well, if you got something to do. But anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight on the lifting. If you need any assistance, some people may feel that they need assistance with some of these issues and memories and dreams that are coming up, and they want to clear out some things, as Chris even had to do. Please feel free to give us a call. Go to the appointments tab on the website. That's thelifting2017.wixsite.com/thelifting, and look at the appointments tab. And you have Chris and Katrina, who will be more than happy to work with you on anything that you have. Chris, of course, is going to get this up really, really soon, so I'm not even going to talk about the replay number we have because he gets these up really quick. If you have any questions regarding this or anything else you see, just again send them to thelifting2017@gmail.com. And then again, our next viewers question show is on Thursday, September 28th. And so I just want to bid everyone a wonderful night, and we will see you guys again next Tuesday. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.